settle in and let's get started. So understanding about this shame conversation about why we get stuck, about what takes us out of our game. Just be aware that shame is in all of us. Today, we're going to unlock some of those awarenesses. So if you're ready, say to yourself, I'm ready. And just listen as I share some insights first before we do a little meditation. So we don't struggle because we lack vision or we lack goals. We're stuck because shame patterns are still running in our operating system. Right? So when you upgrade your computer, it undoes some old operating. If you've ever upgraded your system, you go, well, I liked it when it used to have this, or before I upgraded that, or before I changed this, right? The reality when we upgrade our system and we turn down the volume on shame, our body says, man, I really like the old system. I like the way it used to be. Anybody ever say that? I like the way it used to be. So we've learned to set goals. We haven't learned to undo the identity level encoding in these. We have identity level code encoding in our current state, right? So if I fail, we say things like, if I fail, I'm a failure. Here's the difference between shame and guilt. Guilt is that was the problem. I did something wrong. Shame is I am wrong. Let that settle in for just a moment. Guilt is the result is wrong. Shame is I'm wrong. Guilt is that was a failure. Shame is I'm the failure. We need to let that settle in. If I succeed, I'll be exposed, right? All too often we set goals and we realize, hey, wait a minute. If I achieve this, then either I was a failure the whole time before this, or people are now going to start to make fun of me. If I rest, I lose value. Social media has put that one into us ridiculously. If I rest, I lose value. If I slow down, they'll see I'm not really that good. If I slow down, they'll see I'm not really that good. So, why is this neurologically valid? Why is this happening in our brain? Shame lives in our limbic system and it lives in our default mode network, the parts of the brain that process identity, emotion, and memory. They regulate belonging, social safety, and the internal narrative we say. And we want to override logic when dysregulated, which is why just set smart goals, SMART goals. That's why they don't work. Even if an entrepreneur has a clear goal, where do you set a clear goal? In your executive function, your prefrontal cortex. Even if you have this clear goal, your subconscious still equates success. Think about this. Think about the duplexity, the contrast. We set a clear goal in our prefrontal cortex, and our subconscious system still equates goal achieving with unworthiness, being exposed, or being rejected. And your nervous system will sabotage your progress, right? We call it self sabotage. Why do I always self sabotage? It's so we can stay safe. Literally, that is what's happening in the brain. And when you become aware of that, if you become aware, if you allow yourself to say, that sounds like it makes sense, then we've got to ask, okay, if that's a possibility and it's a real possibility, what do I do? It's called awareness. This is why we procrastinate. It's why we overthink. It's why we're busy but not effective. And it's why we burn out. So entrepreneurs often tie their self-worth to productivity. They use overwork to outrun their insecurity. They feel guilt when not resting or receiving help. They feel guilt when you're resting or getting help. Right? Dr. Freud slipped in there and said not resting. So we feel guilty when we take a break or we ask for help. We avoid visibility, even while craving recognition. We want to be recognized. Oh my gosh, we want to be recognized. But we tell ourselves, no, 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 no. It's nothing. I don't want to be seen. Well, here's the problem, Skippy. If you were going to go do some amazing things, you are going to be seen. You can't not. You have to become ready for the love. But this is why entrepreneurs crater and explode and destroy their goals and their dreams. The problem isn't ambition. It's that ambition is being filtered through unresolved shame. So here's a stage ready version. Here's something you want to become aware of. The reason most entrepreneurs are stuck isn't because they lack strategy. What is everybody at? How do I do that? How do I do that? How do I do that? Everybody has 1,001 strategies. The reason we're stuck is because we've never installed the shame code. We've never uninstalled, we've never taken out, we've never reprogrammed the shame code that says you must prove your worth to earn your place. We've never undone that code. You must prove your worth to earn your place. Until you address that, every new goal becomes just another way to hide the wound. So, how do we address that? So, we're going to take a little meditative journey. We're going to see if we can consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously rewire a couple of things. So, I want you to just settle in. You've had a huge awareness. You may feel some resistance in your body right now. Go ahead, feel it, address it, say, and I love that. Take a big breath. And in just a moment, we're going to enter into our transport and head into the sanctuary, our sanctuary of undevelopment and achievement. This is that place you go to be free of distractions, to feel connected, and to know it's okay to work on you. In just a moment, I'm going to snap my fingers and you'll be instantly transported into your sanctuary. 1, 2, 3. And you're now energetically in the hall, in the great room of your sanctuary, feeling better than you've ever felt, with more attention to undoing your shame code and ready to create your new accepted identity that doesn't require more. It simply requires being authentic. This is a neuroenergetic reset, a moment where the entrepreneur in you pauses the race to rewrite the program that's been running underneath the goals, underneath the hustle, and underneath your performance. You're safe to unwind here. You're allowed to exist without effort. This is where your nervous system learns you already belong. Say it to yourself. I already belong. Say it again. I already belong. So let's center with some breathing. Inhale for 4. Hold it. Exhale for 6. Breathe in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it again. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your body return to normal breathing. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Allow yourself to simply let go. Let that part of you that always needs to lead, to be doing, to be out front, to be working, Let that part of you just rest. You're not losing ground. You are gaining access. When you settle, when you rest, when you ask for help right now, you're not losing ground. You're gaining access to the most powerful, authentic version of you. Right now, you're signaling your nervous system, I'm not in danger. I'm allowed to receive. Let that pass your conscious brain. Float into your subconscious. I am not in danger. I am allowed to receive. I am allowed to receive. So become aware. In this moment, just become aware of everything that is you. I want you to focus, bring your attention, settle in on this idea of the part of you that feels unspoken pressure. Which part of you feels the unspoken pressure to prove, the unspoken pressure to outperform, the unspoken pressure to be worthy by what you achieve? It may sound something like, if I slow down, I'll lose momentum. If I'm not busy, I'm not valuable. If I succeed too fast, I'll be exposed. That part of you that feels very comfortable echoing these ideas. Where's that part of you in your body? Where's that part of you exist in this moment? These aren't thoughts. These are survival patterns. They're not thoughts. They're survival patterns. And they were likely installed before you could even say your name, before you could speak, before you learned to write, before you started your business. So today, we release the idea that your worth is earned. And we choose something truer, something more authentic, something that already resides in you. These next words are designed for your subconscious. You can listen to them. You can repeat them softly, quietly in your mind, or you can simply let your body relax. Your conscious awareness is not needed for these words. I release the need to perform to belong. I release the need to perform to belong. I release the need to perform to belong. I am safe when I'm visible. I am safe when I'm visible. I am safe when I am visible. I lead from presence, not pressure. I lead from presence, not pressure. I lead from presence, not pressure. I no longer confuse busy with brave. I no longer confuse busy with brave. I no longer confuse busy with brave. Reset is not a reward. It's my recalibration. Reset is not a reward. It's my calibration. Reset is not a reward. It's my calibration. Rest is not a gift. It's my update. Rest is not a gift. It's my update. Rest is not a gift. It's my update. My gifts are not tied to guilt. My gifts are not tied to guilt. My gifts are not tied to guilt. I can be powerful and unarmored. I can be powerful and unarmored. I can be powerful and unarmored without carrying my armor. My nervous system now knows I'm allowed to succeed with ease. My nervous system now knows I am allowed to succeed with ease. My nervous system knows I am allowed to succeed with ease. Take a big breath. Exhale all the unprogramming. Inhale the new light, the new joy, the new understanding. Bring this in through the crown chakra, all the way down, through your third eye, through your throat, into your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral, your root. Let that energy continue to flow down through your legs, your knees, your calves, into your feet and into the ground. Let these words land in every cell in your body, not just in your mind. Let them sink into your muscles, into the tissue that's between the muscles, your bones. Let this settle into your business identity. This is not fluff. This is a frequency shift. Feel it. So now let's bring your energy back into your chakras. And starting with your solar plexus, right there where your rib cages come together. Maybe you rest a hand. This is your power center. This is your doing center. Say these words as if you were speaking inwardly to this arena of ideas, this stadium of your personalities, and inwardly say, I reclaim my inner authority. I reclaim my inner authority. I reclaim my inner authority. Hear this one, say this one, feel this one. I am no longer driven by avoidance. I am no longer driven by avoidance. I am no longer driven by avoidance. That energy is flowing into and through your solar plexus and giving you the authority back to do what you know you are capable of. Let's move up into the heart center. Place your hand or hands over your heart. Feel that green, beautiful light that is your heart center frequency. And say these words, hear these words, feel these words in every cell and every neuron in your body. Here they are. I forgive myself for hustling from fear. I forgive myself for hustling from fear. I forgive myself for hustling from fear. I am open to leading with truth, not performance. I am open to leading with truth, not performance. I am open to leading with truth, not performance. Breathe that in. Feel the shift in your body. Become aware of where that shift is taking place. And now you can rest a hand on your throat and in your throat chakra, where you speak your words. Say these, feel this energy. I speak success without shrinking. I speak success without shrinking. I speak success without shrinking. Again, these are your throat chakra. I share my work without apology. I share my work without apology. I share my work without apology. Big breath. I trust that my voice belongs. I trust that my voice belongs. I trust that my voice belongs. Breathe. Let that flow in. Feel that in your throat chakra. Feel the shift in the energy in your heart chakra. Feel the shift and the power and the authenticity in your solar plexus. So let's do some anchoring. Let's create some visuals. I want you to imagine yourself, see yourself in a room, in a place where you're leading, and imagine you're just there. Picture the you that leads from presence, who doesn't hustle to heal, simply by being there, by being available, by bringing your talent into this space. You are succeeding. Picture you, the one who leads from presence and who doesn't need to apologize for peace, for calm, for collected. Picture yourself the one who leads from presence, who doesn't hustle to feel healed, and who doesn't need to apologize for your peacefulness. See that image. See yourself making powerful decisions from alignment, not urgency. From alignment, not urgency. Now see your audience, your team, your clients, your members, your partners, responding to this resonant version of you, to this powerful vibration of you, the one who leads from presence, who stands in calmness and in peace, the one who makes decisions from alignment, not urgency. See your community resonating in a perfect harmony with this version of you. You're not deluded. You're not distracted. You're not hiding. You're leading from wholeness, completeness now. Feel yourself connect. Feel yourself breathe in this alive, living version of you. Feel the energy of your doing in your solar plexus, radiating out into every cell in your body. Feel the energetic love you have for you, for your community, and feel it coming back from them as they love your leadership. They love your peacefulness. They love your presence, and hear your words. They come directly from your highest version, your heart version, your authentic version. As you speak to hear love, you speak to hear your joy, and to access and activate joy in others. So take one last big breath for this time. and realize this isn't the end of a meditation. This is the installing of a new operating system. Hear these words. You do not need to earn your right to be seen. You already belong in the room you have built. Say it. I already belong in this room I have built. And listen to this. Your success does not have to trigger your shame. It can awaken your soul. My actions, my success, my results do not trigger my shame. It awakens my bigger soul. Let this version of you lead today, tomorrow, teach it to others, pass it on to your friends and family and your children. Let this version of you lead today. Let your body remember what safety, success, and stillness feel like together. Let that settle in. Let success and stillness and safety all arrive, activate, and awaken in your body together in this moment. Feel that. Let success and safety and stillness arrive in your body in this moment. Let them live together, awaken together right now, and keep them alive. Keep them active. Feel it. So as you come out of this state, not fully awake yet, I want to have a conversation with you. So bring yourself back to your awareness, back to your subconscious, back to your conscious, back into your sanctuary where you know you're possible, where you know you are creative, where you know you have more to give, more to receive, and more to share. So while still here, out of that state, and yet still focusing on you, I want to explain, I want you to hear consciously what just took place in your entrepreneurial brain. The shift that's happened. What you just experienced wasn't just relaxation, it was a neural pattern interruption. You need to be aware of this. You've just reprogrammed your brain. This wasn't an affirmation, it wasn't a sticky note, it wasn't a self-talk. This was a neural reprogramming. Because for many entrepreneurs, success has become this entangled subconscious shame. If you ask any entrepreneur, So, have you ever tried something and it failed, or have you switched goals, or have you set a goal and not received it? Yeah, that's just my struggle. I self sabotage. You can now be fully aware that self sabotage is self shame. This is in all of us. So simply become aware that shame, while invisible, is incredibly loud inside your nervous system. It tells your body, and especially in the female body, that rest is dangerous, that slowing down is failure, that vulnerability happens when I become visible. Think about that. This is what your body is telling you. Ease must be earned through exhaustion. Anybody have that tattooed on them? Ease must be earned through exhaustion. So, let me explain. Your sympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for hustle and stress and urgency, you finally let go. You activated your ventral vagal system, your social engagement mode. This is the state, this is the mindset, this is the place where creativity, strategy, and charisma are actually born, in the ventral vagal system. It's where you feel safe enough to expand. Think about that. Every goal you have threatens your identity with expansion, with becoming bigger, better, right? So you interrupted the shame success loop. That's what we did this morning. Most entrepreneurs unconsciously link their identity to their output. During this session, what you just listened to, and I would encourage you to listen to it often, you installed a new subconscious language. Through self-talk and energetic phrasing, now that redefines success as safety, not survival. You told your limbic system, where there are no words, there's only feelings. Those feelings are converted into words that sound like, I do not need to earn my enoughness. I can be powerful without performing. This is how the identity shift begins. See, shame creates contraction, physically, emotionally, even energetically. Shame creates contraction. What we just did released that energetic constriction in your solar plexus, your power. We release that constriction in your heart, known as worthiness. And we release that constriction in your throat, called your personal expression. So don't be surprised. Here's what you need to pay attention to, what you'll know, the new things you may see in your environment. Be aware that you might have more grounded conversations. You may feel more grounded in a conversation with somebody who you typically engage with. Something will feel different. You'll be less reactive when there's conflict. You'll be less likely to explode or get highly energized. You may be more magnetic in your communication. You'll have people maybe say, "Man, I enjoyed talking to you today." And your identity will say, "Well, that's weird. What shifted? Why now? What today?" And we'll push it off. We'll shove it in a corner somewhere saying, "Well, they're the ones that's weird," or "that was odd." No, you've shifted. You're running a new vibration. Suddenly, you might be annoyed by hustle-based habits. If you've ever had a little too much alcohol one night and somebody offered you a beverage the next day and you're like, "Oh, never again." You're repelled by the thought of drinking. Suddenly you might be repelled by the hustle-based habits, the busy habits you've had in your life. This is evidence of your energetic body catching up with your new internal truth. Just be aware of that. Some things you might notice or feel different in your environment. You might understand or you might see a new clarity in your boundaries, a new disinterest in needing to prove yourself. You might have new ideas flowing. Here's the key: without resistance. Perhaps a few people or patterns you no longer resonate with will simply slip away. This isn't disconnection, it's evolution. Be aware of that. When you see these things shift and change in your light and in your life, be aware it may be evolution, not disconnection. So what now? Drink some water, get some fluid in your body, journal any insights. Be gentle if some emotions arise. That's all part of this rewiring. Repeat this meditation regularly because repetition rewires the nervous system's default identity. Listen carefully. You are not this mask you once wore, this performance mask. I need to perform for my identity. That mask has been taken off. You are the reclaimed presence behind the mask. You are the one who wore the mask. Your presence, your energy, it's magnetic, it's powerful. And listen carefully. And now it's safe to lead. Say it. It's safe to lead now. Say it again. It's safe to lead now. Take a big stretch. And in just a moment, we're going to enter into our transport and come back to this space and this place and time. 1, 2, 3. And you're back. Getting better and better every day in every way. Filling your energy and your solar plexus to do, in your heart to love, in your throat to be authentic. And this is your new version of your established self, the mask wearer. Look for things that are green in your environment. Take a big stretch and welcome home. We'll get started in just a moment.
Wide awake while the world is sound asleep, and Too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody.
All right. Hey, good morning, everybody.
Nobody.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That went a little longer than I expected, but not longer than I anticipated. How y'all doing? Happy Monday morning. What'd you learn? What'd you hear? What's your takeaway from that? What's your ahas?
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Selka.
How are you this morning?
I am outstanding.
I know. But I wanted to ask anyway, so you can answer,
Sure.
because I know you like to answer.
I love it.
So, I always feel guilty when I don't work.
Mm-hmm.
But I never feel guilty when I ask for help. And often when I ask for help, I don't get the help I ask for. So what am I doing wrong in not getting the help that I ask for?
So we can ask for help, but the question then becomes, we need to clarify, are they capable? Are they willing? So there's three things we need to be aware of when we look to engage people, whether we're asking them for help or whether we're asking them to help themselves. There's, are they capable, willing, willing, able,
Being
and
coachable and hungry.
right. So are they coachable, willing, and able? So you can be coachable, you can be willing, but not able to do it, right?
But
if you ask, so
I'm not asking for that. I mean, I don't need them to be coachable. I just want help.
well, but the point is, well, they need to be coachable on how best to help you, because right now none of them are being coached on how to help you.
Well, for instance, let me just give you an example.
Okay.
So I asked, we were talking about working out. And someone said, well, I work out for 30 minutes a day and I have these amazing results.
Okay.
So, and I do this and that. So I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to try to follow this. It's only 30 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I could try their routine.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, could you please make me a video of your routine or of your workout so I can see and follow exactly what it is you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this person is certainly capable of making a video, and they know what they're doing because I
Mm-hmm.
can see what they look like, right?
Right.
But they come back and say, well, I can write it down for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you can look it up. You can look it up on Google or something. But that's not what I was asking for. I was specifically asking for the video.
Right. But so do you know why they didn't send you the video?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, let me explain to you
I
why they
wrote
did.
them back and I
Okay.
haven't gotten an answer yet. And I said, I need to have the video so I can follow it while I'm doing the exercise, not trying to read a piece of paper.
Okay, so let me
Some of
explain to
the things that this person is doing, I have no idea what they are. And yes, I could certainly look them up, but it would take more time for me versus this person just making the video and I can
right,
see.
but let me explain to you. So listen carefully. Let me explain to you why they did not make the video. Because they were put into a place of shame. You didn't intend this. That's how they heard it. They are working out. Think about it. So let me explain to you the brain. Doesn't matter whether this is male or female, young or old. Let me explain to you why they said no to the video. One, they had to be on video, public speaking. People would rather die than publicly speak. So you ask them to publicly speak. Is this person a public speaker or somebody who stands on stage a lot?
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
Are they working out to get their body in better shape?
Well, they already look amazing, so they're working out probably to just maintain what they look
Okay.
like.
So if they spend time on stage, they have now brought it down to the individual level that they have to perform for you something they're not comfortable with. So they didn't not give you help. They can't give you the help you asked for. So they are not able, right? Willing, able, and coachable. They are not able to give it to you because it triggered shame in their body. The time it's going to take for them to do a specific, they are not willing to train you because of the shame of them having to do it right. Because here's the thing, they believe that if you don't do the exercise, if you don't follow the video, your failure will be linked to them. You can say, well, that's not what I intended. That's not what I wanted. It
Certainly,
doesn't.
we don't intend that, but I do get what
So
you're saying.
this is why they can't make the video for you. Even though they're going to do the exercises today, that's the part that's confusing to us. Sometimes we go, well, you're going to do the workout today. Just turn a camera on.
Yes.
That's their vulnerable place. That's the only place it's one of the very few places where they can work on themselves. And now it turns into a performance and they don't know how to make that shift. So that's why they can't give you the video. That's why they can tell you, here's what I do, go look it up. Because their internal voice, their internal message says, I don't know how to perform this. I'm still trying to figure it out. So that's one. So they're not able. They're willing to give you the information, but they're not willing to give it to you in the way you are. So when we ask for help, sometimes it's important for us to be flexible in the way we receive the help. And I promise you, if you continue on the path of being curious about it, you'll find somebody who'll go, oh, yeah, I've got the videos already. We have a tendency, listen carefully, of our vibration. You said something in the very beginning of this, and this is key for everybody. This isn't isolated to Silke Carpenter. I ask for help and I don't seem to get it. That simple vibration, law of attraction, is a pattern that many people say, well, I'm afraid to ask for help because I never seem to get any help. I never seem to get the help that moves me forward. This was me for decades. In my teens and in my 20s, that was me for 2 decades. I asked for help and I don't seem to get it because one of two things happens. I wasn't asking the right person or I didn't know how to ask for help.
Well,
I asked for help.
Or I don't get the help that I specifically ask for. When I'm asking, for instance, I want to have a conversation, and then instead I get 100 questions this person wants me to answer. It's not the help I was asking for and I need it. So I think when someone asks us for help, we need to give them the help specifically
Well,
that
we
they're
need
asking for, not the help that we want to give.
right. Well, the best help that somebody could get is the help that would move them forward. So a couple of things happen.
Certainly.
So a couple of things to do. If we are asking for help, say, I've got a situation that's this, and this. What do you do? What do you believe you could do to help me move towards the finish line? And see if their brain wraps around, because a lot of times if you've ever had a conversation with somebody and said something to them and they answered you and you're like, well, that wasn't even that's a great answer, but that's not the question. That's not the answer to the question I asked. I don't know. That was a great answer for some question, but that wasn't the answer to my question.
Yeah, and I will say that too.
Right. So the question then becomes hey, listen, I've got to get to this point. Do you believe you have the skills, talents, and desires and the wants and the wishes to provide any value to me that help me get there? And figure, because sometimes people like to hear themselves talk too. So if they're asking a whole bunch of questions saying, what part about my request for help triggered all of that? Because when you ask for help, a couple of things happen. This is again, here's human psychology. Here's how the brain works. I have a very dear friend who is local here, and deals in the same kinds of animals that I deal in. He is very resistant to me helping because he said this many times to me. I don't know how I'm ever going to repay you. He says, he says, every time you come over and you help, he says, I feel like I'm more and more in debt. I said, that was never, that is not the intention. I said, you've helped me and my family with our animals more than anybody else has. So I think we're always pretty even. I said, would you believe? So here's what I say to trigger in his body and awareness. I said, do you think I'm a relatively smart person? He says, yeah. And some things you're very smart. And other things, he says, I don't know how you get to survive.
Yeah.
I said, so if I'm a smart person, do you think I know the difference between being taken advantage of and providing value to somebody? Yeah. So do you think I'm dumb coming over here all the time to help? Do you think I can't see or I'm not getting any value? He says, yeah, but I don't know how I'm giving you any value. I said, that's not yours to understand. Yours is to understand you provide value. So he is helping. There's this resistance to the ease with which I arrive when it's time for them to need some help. He says, you always show up whenever I tell you we're doing something. I said, well, why wouldn't I? He said, because I can't do it for you.
Well, why couldn't he do it for you?
Because he's too busy doing other stuff. He's got other projects and stuff. He can't come over to the house to help me build a shed, to build a barn. He says he could, but he's got all of these things that wind up going on. And
But
so
I think maybe he doesn't understand how to
no. It doesn't matter whether he understands.
No, because
Go ahead.
because you helping him, he may not be able to help you, and you're not expecting help in that same way. But when you need help, I'm certain that somebody will pop up and will help you, because
no question. But the point is that his shame is triggered, and unless we talk about it, we bring shame to the light. We don't call it shame. We call it this. I feel guilty. We used guilt. I feel guilty that I can't do for you what you do for me. See, we think that a lot of times people think, I have to do exactly for you what you do for me. They don't realize their talents and skills are so valuable that they do, right? There's that phrase I think Emerson said, you do something so well, people wish they could do it half as good. So when I need to learn about feed, when I need to learn about shearing, when I need to learn about shears, that's a no-brainer. It's like I've forgotten more than he's forgotten more than I'll ever learn about shears and blades and blah, blah, blah. But yet to me, that saves me hours and hours of investigation of trying to figure it out. And it was 5 seconds. So his 5 seconds of get this, this, and this is worth a week of my energy and effort of helping him do other things. But it's hard to see that because it's not equal in payment. He doesn't have to sacrifice to do, or seems what looks like a sacrifice to equal the value I bring. So when this person needs to make the video, they feel responsible as your trainer and they don't see themselves as your trainer. But I'm not asking them for that. Doesn't matter what we ask them for. It's how they speak it. Right? So that's their interpretation. They
just make a list. I mean, do they feel different about just making a list? I mean, it would be the same thing.
Well, making a list puts the ownership back on you. Making the video puts the ownership on them. What if they don't do the right form, or what if they don't do the right this? I can promise you the reason that if they speak and stand on stage and they're used to doing a lot of, they can go in front of the camera with no problems. Yes. Then here's the issue. They are resistant to being responsible for other people. If they feel that their form of, I don't know what it is, doing a touching your toes or doing a dog's plank or doing they feel that their form is not going to be the right form for you. So therefore they avoid that by saying, well, I'll just give you the list. You can go look it up and you can do the work. It's just that simple. If they're your friend or if they're your acquaintance and you have a conversation with them and they're resisting that, it's not because they don't like you. It's because they don't feel they're good enough to do that. And that's just the brain. That's just exactly. And so what happens sometimes is words come out that seem like, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Because we see them for who they are, but they can't see them through our eyes. And the challenge is we're not seeing them through theirs. Simply like when we ask somebody to join us in business, they want the money, but because they've never done the work, this kind of work, talk to people, invite people to do all these things, they can't perform. It's public speaking. Network marketing is public speaking. And then even if we use an automated system, it's still at some point we have to either accept the love, accept the failure, accept the accolades, or accept the rejection. We have to be, because people are going to join our business or they're not going to join our business. And the reason we even avoid automated systems is because, well, what if it fails? That's why people, the majority of people, 90% of the people never make a check more than $500 in network marketing because they're afraid to talk to people. Well, the system works. If we just invite people to try the product, there's a refund, there's a guarantee on the product. Even if the product was free, you can't get people to try it because it's shifting their identity. That's what this
But then
all comes
people
down
go
to.
to Amazon and simply just order a product.
Right, but how many people have
Why?
stuff in there?
What's the difference in that then? I mean,
Because they
let's
don't have to
look at
talk to
that.
anybody. Nobody's going to follow up with them.
Well, then it would be good to use an automated system because then they don't have to talk to anyone. And I think for customers, that's very true. I mean, most people will just look at the ingredients, they know what they're looking for, and they can order. So I think it's ridiculous when you tell people, oh, you need to speak to every customer. I don't think you necessarily need to have a relationship with customers because we buy what we need.
Well, but even Amazon has a relationship with customers.
I don't have a relationship with customers, or with Amazon. Neither do I have a
Well,
relationship with
does
anyone.
Amazon send you any messages?
Usually does not send me messages unless I
So
order.
they don't tell you that an order's been placed. They don't tell you an order's on the
Yeah,
way.
well, they do, but that's the automation. I'm
Well,
not
but that's still a real, as basic and as fundamental and as non-cellular as that is, that's still the connection. Could you imagine if you ordered from Amazon, you never got a message or a notice or anything? I'm just saying, but that it's all
No,
that's
I
the
was just
relationship.
laughing because that is the issue with another platform. That's
Yep,
why I was laughing
yep,
because yeah, we we were just talking about that.
yep.
Yeah,
So
no, I mean, but then you have to set the automation certainly that it responds. Uh, that's part of the
and
automation.
some people like that, what I don't know if I'm using the word right, superficial, this very basic connection. I don't just don't want, just tell me when the product's coming, I'll be fine. And that's fine. There's some people that's all that they want. I had customers that I sent them a thank you message, they never responded, and I never sent another one because I didn't want them to not buy. That's who they are, that's their personality.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yep.
mean, we send nice messages out to people, and not all of them respond.
Yep.
And some of them may be not able to accept the love as you have taught me.
Yep.
And that's okay. They still know that we love and care about them because we told them. Whether they can accept it, or feel uncomfortable. When I send these out, I don't really ever expect them to respond
Yep.
because I'm not sending them to get a response. I don't need that from them. I just want them to know how I feel about them.
Yep. So here's the thing. So listen carefully to this. This may be a little change the way you look at things. We do need it from them. We don't need it to be verbalized by them. The fact that I can send you a I love you note, I need that from you. I need to be able to have some place I can go send my love. Whether you accept it or reject it, that's up to you. But we do need a place because we're human beings and we are a connected species, right? It's not a bad description for us to be linked to sheep because sheep are flock animals. You have one sheep, there's a good chance it'll die. It needs a community. We need community, right? That's why social media has done unbelievable things for us and to us, because we think we're part of this community that we're really not of, right? Well, I have 5,000 followers. No, not really. You got 2 people that show up on your lives. That's me. I got 7,000 or 8,000 followers on Instagram. I have 6 people that show up. I have 6 people. I don't have 8,000 followers. I have 8,000 people that sneezed on the button and went, oh, all right, I guess I won't unfollow them. So,
So I have one more question
sure.
then. So how do you get your needs met when you're asking for help? How should you talk to someone, or how should you share of what you're needing, that you're actually getting the help that you are asking for,
Great
not
question.
some other help that person is willing to give, or maybe not understanding fully what you're asking.
Right.
I mean,
So,
I am usually very clear and straight to the point.
and
So
there's nothing wrong with being direct. The challenge is most people don't have a direct answer. They don't know how to directly respond to your direct request. So a suggestion might be is, hey, listen, I want to ask you for help. What's the best way to ask you for help? The first thing back to them is, help on what? Now it triggers the brain in a different response. What's the best way I could ask you for help? Now, if they know you, they have 1,001 things. The challenge is that a lot of times we'll be surprised when people ask us for help for the thing they didn't know they could help us on. This person who speaks on stages or is out in front of out in front of audiences, probably, I don't think they're probably, my guess is based on our conversation, is they're not a weight trainer or a physical fitness trainer.
they may think they are, but no, that's
right. So,
but no, I mean,
so the question then is, hey, listen, I want to ask you for help. What's the best way I could ask you for help?
well, I said I usually do that and say, can I, can I ask for help, or I have a question, or, can you help? No, it's usually, can you help me with something? And this person,
and most people have a
this
good heart.
person
They could
said,
say
ask
yes.
away. This person answered and said, ask away. So I did.
So
That's what we were speaking about.
right. But the challenge is this: when you got to a very personal, a very vulnerable part of their world that they probably don't always have available or is always open to, it triggered vulnerability. It triggered shame in them. So the question then is, hey, listen, I want to ask you about your workouts. I love the way you're looking. I love the way you're transforming your body. I love the way that you're taking care of you. I would like similar results. How could you help me? Not asking you to do the work for me. Hang on. Okay.
Yeah, it looked like your mouth stayed open.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm not asking you to do the work for me, but what's the best way for me to ask for your help to get similar results? And then let their brain go about it, right? Because if we say, I would love for you to make me a video, people love to buy. They hate to be sold.
But that's exactly what I want, is the video.
I get it, but you've got to figure out an easier way to ask them to say, oh, I'd be happy to do a video.
Well, how would I do that?
Well,
So
hey, listen.
I mean, people go to the gym and work out, so it's not like other people don't see them work out.
No, but when you turn lights, camera, action, people lose their mind.
But this person has been speaking on stage for years all over the world.
Right.
So,
but it's not them having to perform something they don't feel they're good at. They probably have some huge body images, body stories around their body. They probably have some huge stories around their weight.
No, they think they look amazing.
I get it, but that's now. The fact is, if they think they look amazing and they're not willing to put it on video, there's a disconnect there. Just, you got to look at it from a psychological standpoint. You feel that you look amazing, but you won't show me how you did it. So there's an incongruency there. Either
Too lazy.
maybe they're taking, they found the magic pill and they're not having to work out, but they tell everybody that, I don't know. But the point is that it triggered something in them that they're not willing to move through.
I thought maybe they were just being lazy.
No,
No,
because if they're transforming their body, they're not being lazy.
well, being lazy making the video because
No, I get it. I know, but you can't be both. You can't be that determined and be lazy to make the video. The reason you're not making the video is something subconsciously. It's a programming that says, I'm not good enough, or I'm not going to give away my secret. Maybe they don't even want to share their secret. Oh, I'll help you. No, I won't.
well, they did say exactly what they were doing. Not how many. I mean, the thing is also in how many reps you do of things and
Right.
how consistent. Well, they said they work out 6 days a week, so there's plenty of time to make a video. I was
Right,
they
but
told me that beforehand. So because I asked, do you work out 7 days a week to look like that? They
Right.
said, no, I work out 6 days a week. So it's yeah.
Yeah, so it's triggered something in their body that they now have to defend not doing it. And so they become, and that's where sometimes relationships can then have a shift in their arrangement because we made them feel uncomfortable. That's all. It's human nature. It's as predictable as the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. Oh, interesting. That response is because you can almost identify and go, well, there's a schematic that triggered this. So it's an old story, or they don't feel they look good in their workout. That's all.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I would say that's not what they're thinking, but you just never know what they think. They just said, I'm not making the video, or I don't want to make the video, or
Right.
I'm just
Well,
gonna
and
write it down. I think it was more like, well, I can read it exactly what it was. It was, I'll just write it out. You know what squats, calf raises, split squats, pull-ups, push-ups, dips are, and YouTube shows them all as well.
Yep. So they still feel a tremendous lack as they perform those skills. They don't feel they've perfected that as much as they perfected the rest of the times they're on stage.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if
Okay.
they're doing 6 days a week, it's really not hard to turn on the camera and go, okay,
Yeah,
so here's
well,
my pull-up.
that was my thought, because they had told me before 6 days a week. If they would have said, I work out once in a while when I have time, I'm really busy, I probably would not have asked for a video.
Right. Remember, public speaking people are very shy. People who spend their time on stage are very shy. They're just wired that way. And the reason that we
How
speak
do they get up there?
because we're in the safe environment, but we just do not like one-on-ones. Listen, I've no-showed my own home with guests there. Some of the people who have come to the events go, where's Sean? He went to bed. I don't do small. It's hard for me to do small. Very hard. I work on that. That's something I've worked on for 2 decades, which is why I now do live small events here at the ranch. Coming to my house, oh my God, the stones are not right. The grass isn't cut. There's leaves on the ground. There's a lot that goes on, a lot that I needed to work on. Still working on. So, but I can do in front of 1,000 people like nothing. You mean you can get up there and talk like that's easy? That's the easy stuff. So when we get down to when we bring the big down to the small, we feel very, very exposed, and we can become very insignificant real quick. And that's not why we speak, is to be insignificant. We speak to be significant, to have some impact. So it can get real challenging real quick. And so that's probably the big challenge.
That's very true. I have noticed before that sometimes when you get into one-on-one talking with people, that they have a totally different way of communicating than when they are on Zoom or they are on stage, that they're not the same person, literally. And it's very strange to me. Yeah, why that is. Sometimes it almost feels disappointing.
Yep.
It doesn't happen that often, but it's happened. So I can understand what you're saying. And I will work on, yeah, I mean, because I don't have any problem asking for help. I really
Right.
don't. So it's just, I don't get the help I'm asking for.
Well, you can say that. Hey, listen, I'm going to ask you for help. And there's a chance that what what you what I'm asking for is real simple, but it may seem very complicated. So I'm not a good, I ask for help, but I may not sometimes know how to ask the best way for help. So if it's okay while we talk, if you know that going in, that I may not know how best to ask for your help, but I would love your results. And just make it
I put it on
easier.
myself. So I put it on myself when I don't feel that way. I think I'm asking well for help.
Just let them know. Say, hey, listen, I'm not sure. I don't always, well, you're not asking well for help if you're not getting it. That has to be an end result. This plus that equals that. Well, that result isn't what I want. So the asking must not be that good. I think it's good, but it's like if I go, well, I speak German, Auf Wiedersehen. I know how to speak German. No, you speak one word, but it's German. Well, yes, but you're not going to get anywhere. If all I say is goodbye to everybody, I'm perfectly fine. My German is perfect. Well, that's stupid. Get it. So I don't speak German well. I speak one word well. So when we ask for help, if you're not getting the results you want, it's not everybody you ask can't give you help. It's maybe the way we're asking them that's triggering things, that's avoiding them from helping us. So we have to get better at it. That's it. That's the hard part. That's called mental toughness. Is, wait a minute, if I'm asking for help and not getting it, maybe I need to change the way I ask for help. But I'm just asking, I need help.
Yeah.
But that's how, but people can't.
Because I look at it from just my standpoint. If someone tells me
Right,
they
but
need help, I give them the help they ask me for. It would never occur to me to say, if somebody asked for a video, I would make the video for them. It wouldn't occur to me to say, well, just let me write it down for you, because that's not what they asked for. So I think that's maybe where the disconnect lies.
right.
That,
You
they,
expect them to be able to respond like you would, and they can't.
yeah, it's probably the expectation
Yep.
that is causing the issue for me, because I expect something specific that I asked for, and then I either don't get any help or I don't get what I asked for. So maybe I should need to be broader in asking.
And the way that we can narrow it down is say, listen, I want to ask you for help. If I asked you for help, would you be willing to provide some? Again, depending upon what it is, but are you
Well,
open to helping me?
with this specific person, I did ask, and he said, ask away. So there I did.
Yep.
It
Well,
wasn't
and
that I just said, hey, I want a video. Usually, I do ask, I need some help, or it's just depending with friends. I don't often, if I, I'm able to ask for help, but sometimes people offer me help.
I hear you.
Like my best friend, she's very good at offering help. You don't ever have to ask her. She
Yep.
always offers help. It's like she can read that someone needs help. I think that's like an amazing inner, I don't know, asset to have.
It is, but it's also we're not going to get into it, but it's also a debilitating part of her life as well. The only way she gets significance is by helping those around her, by being able to provide that thing. Ooh, that's where she feels sometimes her identity is tied to being able to serve other people. She's probably still successful, wildly successful, but in
Yeah.
serving it, there's this emptiness that if she's not serving somebody, she doesn't deserve her wealth. She doesn't deserve her success.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, she loves to help people.
Yeah, loves to help them. And that's where her identity is around helping people. If you told her she couldn't help anybody, she'd probably shrivel up and crater into a
Yeah, she probably would cry.
right. So that's where she gets her significance from, is being in service of others.
Oh, it's a beautiful way to be.
Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
Christina's been waiting for a long time.
Good
Sorry.
morning, Christina Zaharia.
Good morning. What a masterclass, Silke. And it reminded me how Paul tells me all the time, if you give something, don't expect to receive the same thing back. So, there's another example of people give you the help in the way they want or the way they see it. But anyway, Sean, thank you for today. This was so on point. We have a long weekend in Canada, and I was just telling Paul yesterday, I said, I was given an extra day when I could have worked on my business. And what do? I baked the entire day. But it's fascinating enough, I didn't feel guilty. But yes, this was so on point, and I think at one point I even fell asleep even though I was awake. But this was so amazing. Thank you,
Good.
thank you, thank you.
And this is, again, Brene Brown said it, that I shouldn't say, she said it. I don't know. It's where I learned it. It's where it began to have an aha for me. Shame or guilt is the result, isn't what I wanted. Ah, man, I could have done better. I put the fence up. I put the fence on the wrong side of the poles. Ah, that's so stupid. Versus shame of putting the fence up. Oh, I'm always an idiot. I do this all the time. I'm the problem. The fence isn't the problem. I'm the problem. Guilt is, oh, I put the fence up wrong. I now have to redo it. Versus, oh my God, I'm always so stupid. Why am I so stupid? When we take the problem and make it us, that's shame. So when Brene Brown said, guilt is when the thing is the problem. Shame is when I'm the problem. And I went, oh my God. What does every network marketer say? I don't know how to do this. They're like Popeye. Right? Or a Mexican at a party. And we make ourselves the problem because that's how we defend our lack. Well, if I'm a problem, nobody's going to really pick at me. Nobody's going to really say, you're an idiot. I know I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm sorry you're an idiot, right? We just have this defense mechanism that was wired into us before we could speak, before we could spell, before we knew our own name. It got wired into us, not because of for any other reason than that's how our parents decided to protect us. The brain looks for two things. Will this kill me? Or how fast could I recognize a pattern? And our parents had given us a look. My mom had the look. My dad had a look that if you do that, you are not going to like life. And all it was a look. There were no words spoken. It triggered in our limbic system. And this happened from birth. Oh, you're so good. You're so good. You're so, why are you still crying? Right? We just like, whoa. And so we learn all of these frequencies. And these are ways to protect ourselves. If you had time to work on your business and you were working on your business, there would be guilt of working on your business versus baking and making wonderful food and everybody else and getting your recognition. Oh, this is so amazing. Oh, I love when mom has time to do this. Oh my gosh, you're the best. Oh my God, this is my mom used to make blintzes from scratch, the little tiny pancakes, blintzes, and roll them with cream cheese and homemade jelly and all of this stuff. And she would make 40, 50 blintzes, right? For 4 boys, dad and 3 boys. And she would go to sit down and there'd be like 2 left. We would eat and she loved making them and this, that, or the other. And she knew it was work, but she got her praise that way. So when she needed praise, she made blintzes. Now I can look back with forensic analysis and go, okay, mom was having some pretty rough times. She made blintzes, not to make blintzes, for the love she would get when she would make blintzes. this
That's
Russian Jewish
interesting.
brain, and that's how she was wired. Because she was the what would you, she was the dictatorian, she was the authoritarian, she was the enforcer. My dad never hard I don't can't I think I can think I remember twice my dad raised his voice. My mother used to, I'll put you through the wall, right? And she would break spoons and hit us, and it was just, she was the enforcer. And so when she needed love, she couldn't say, well, you guys, I really need some love. Would you guys just tell me you love me? No, she did the sacrifice of making blintzes from scratch, getting out the pan, and just this whole, you knew blintzes were coming when you heard the pans all fall out of the cabinet, because the pan that she needed was in the back, and all of the cast irons rolled out of the thing. And the phrase was, your sister's ass. And all of a sudden you knew, ooh, we're getting blintzes. From the pain and the suffering of finding the pan, we knew that we were going to have some good time. So,
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. And I guess I needed some love yesterday because, again, I made two breads and I said we were breaded out because they were delicious. And
but you see what you
Patrick
just did
and
there? Hang on, my love. You made two loaves of bread, but we were breaded out. I overdid it. I did too much. I didn't make them feel good. I went too good to be it so that it became too much. You just said I did too much too good.
no, what I said was we had a lot of it.
I know.
That's what I meant.
But what I'm saying, it's
But
good bread, but your subconscious said we had so much bread. Everybody was so full of bread. We said we had too much. The word too much came up. Nothing wrong with that. That's just a little subconscious, little kind of a check going, when I'm too good, it's too much.
the subconscious comes today when I'm thinking, okay, now I have to exercise. Silke, send me that list of all the
Exactly.
push-ups and everything. But it was just so amazing to um, because Samantha said, I really want to sit at the table to eat like a family. And in getting busy and me on webinars and stuff like that, I didn't prioritize that. And so being at the table yesterday and everyone enjoying the food and Patrick saying this was the best Sunday ever. It was just so amazing. But yeah, I guess I needed some love.
So bottle that up,
Mhm.
bottle that up. Thank them for their presence. Wait a minute, they're my kids. They should be there. I get it. And I know you love them. And I know you would absolutely love seeing their smiles, and you would give anything to see that every day. But like anything, doing something over and over and over and over, it loses its touch. So thank them for that again today. Give them a hug and say, I just loved watching us all laugh there. Thank you for making it special, because they need to know that their little comments of this was so great. I love being at this table. This was such a thing, that it was an inspiration for you to keep that. And just like I run around the house going, I love my family, you can say, I love table dinners. I love whatever a word was that yesterday that came up that everybody laughed at or felt good about. What was the name? What was one of the breads you made?
It's regular bread.
Okay, so regular bread. I love bread, right? Just so, or I love laughter, and just let that start to penetrate the walls of the house. I'll be out in the field and I'll say, I love my family. And if because I know Michelle or Mason's on the back porch, I will hear it from the back porch. I love my family. It just triggers that throughout the entire. So I love bread or whatever it is, or just come up with something, but remind them, let them bottle. Remember, pour the bottle of the yesterday all over them, so that becomes easier than it needing a special day off. It becomes the priority for you to realize that the sacrifice of not doing that isn't worth the joy of missing out on that. Because if you know that each time could be as fun and as laughter. You'll give up a half a day to go do that because you know, oh my God, this changes everything. The way you showed up today is a lot different than you've been able to show up on Mondays because of the joy you had yesterday. The joy you gave yourself yesterday. It's not I got to work out twice. It's I have a chance. I had so much fun that I get to focus on my body twice as much because of the joy we had, the laughter we had.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
This was
welcome. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. And give little Miss Brainiac a hug and little Mr. Entrepreneur a hug.
little, not so little.
I know. I know. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways. Okay. Oh, hey AJ.
Hey, sent you a message yesterday. I was gonna share the beating that I got from from this guy, Chat. Funny guy, you know. And also, I know you're getting old, Bubba, but you sent me them April ones, and I
Yes,
needed May ones.
got it.
And also, yeah, the thing I told you I was gonna take care of it, I'm gonna take care of it today in the
Awesome.
next work because they didn't work yesterday. I forgot
Got
about
it.
that. They don't actually work on Sundays, so it is what it is, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna take care of it in the next hour. All righty. Oh, ChatGPT, man, my newest nemesis and the best friend, depending on how you look at it.
That's it.
So, after the interview I conducted with ChatGPT, as you all know, Chat analyzed my answers in a split of a second and gave me some feedback, which was harsh, to say the least. And so this is it. So it kind of gave me three separate segments. The first one is root issues and patterns. Oh, boy, we're just getting started. So under this segment, it gave me a couple of things. The first one is duality of the identity. And it says that I need to, apparently, kill the inner democracy between the hungry champion and the comfort-seeking boy. Yeah, we're just getting started here. And then it said that my highest version must be, oh, sorry, must rule with no tolerance at all times. So I can kind of have these battle of the two wolves in my mind, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was shame and ego trips. It said that according to my answers, there's past shame, and it's just funny how we talk about shame now on the calls for the past 10 days. It's due to financial struggle in the past and body image due to the injury and so on and so forth. And then it said, and this is funny because then it said that I built, look at this, I built the ego armor, but there's a bleeding wound beneath. And I was like, okay.
By the way, what you're reading is everybody's answer right now. That's that's
Yeah.
everybody. Everybody you're about to meet, everybody you have met, everybody that's on this call. That is exactly the same answer for everyone. It is universal. So don't be surprised. So when you work on this, know that you get to speak from this place of joy and love to help others through this. It's brilliant. So continue.
It's crazy. Now, it doesn't just kind of shame you in a way, right? It also gives you a plethora of solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, in my shame and ego trips kind of segment, it said that I need to integrate my past experiences into my arsenal versus my strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it for a second as I was journaling about it, and I remembered you because you say the scars are stronger than the sword that made them all the time. So I remember that quote and I kind of put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gave me another solution, which was that whenever I feel triggered by anything, see it as a mirror become aware of it, and say, this is where I still feel small. So just
So
kind
do you
of,
realize, just FYI, that when you started reading these answers, you got triggered? This chat GPT guy smacked me around and blah, blah, blah. That's you.
yeah,
That's your defense mechanism.
yeah.
Yeah.
That, uh,
Just know, and again, I point out the obvious because it's not always obvious. Continue.
just a bunch of mouthfuls of the company, I think. Now the third solution is obviously to reframe my triggers. That's, walls the walls moments.
Yep.
Now the third segment says sabotage loops. This gets interesting here.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and I quote, "You keep creating high performance routines you can't sustain, Bubba." And I said, "Oh,
No, it's not true.
we're playing below the belt here now." So see? Now it then gives you an explanation, obviously, that states just as you were saying a couple days ago, is that when you crash, it equals more shame, less self-worth, and it's harder to get started up again. That was true. And then the solution for this segment was to build momentum, which was 3 small non-negotiable wins per day. It gave me a solution to, well, as I wake up in the morning, I go and do my stuff, and then I come back. I start off with gratitude. I start off with 3 things that I'm grateful for. I don't have to, it said not to journal them, just to kind of, sit there and soak it in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then to journal the intentions. I mean, it did not phrase it as intentions, but I knew it was because I know better now since you taught me a thing or two.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting, and I did that this morning, and it felt refreshing alongside with the lemon water. Now, segment number 4, emotional addictions, doubt plus unworthiness.
Hmm.
uh, they make you feel addicted to the pain because it's comfortable. And then the solution to this, according to the kind people over at ChatGPT, is that you write out letters to the old version of yourself that believes these things and then kill them. And as I was reading this, I was like, what? It said literally say, as towards the end of your journal entry, you died today and I no longer carry your wounds. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And then number 5, the $2 masterclass we had on Friday. Apparently, either they hacked into my microphone or something, but they knew about that as well, because segment number 5 was fear of being seen. And then it said, if you're seen and you fail, there's no hiding. Yeah. And then
You,
they
you
said,
know what also is true? The opposite.
yeah,
What's the opposite?
if you succeed, there's also no hiding. They're going to see you.
So which is easier?
The ladder.
Failure.
Oh, failure. Oh, okay.
Failure's easy
Well,
because you know why failure's easy? Because we don't stand out. If
okay.
you fail, you tell me you fail, I'm going to tell you the story about how I failed and we feel good together. If you failed and I succeeded, how comfortable are you going to be in our conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to have a failure story.
It did give me a solution for
Mm-hmm.
this, which was to force public accountability, which is what I actually fell in love with doing on this particular call daily.
Mm-hmm.
And also to record breakdowns, be seen before you're perfect, and grow through exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense to me as a member of this community. Now, the second segment was where it really started hitting below the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the second segment is called The Holes, okay? And it found 5 of the holes for me.
Mm-hmm.
One is you're not leading yourself like the CEO of your life. You're still negotiating with the peasant inside you. Wow. Okay.
Now
Uh,
remember, It's giving you all of these answers based on math. You have to become aware of this. What do I mean it's giving you all these answers based on math? It is not a thinking thing. You are providing the thinking to it. It looked at all of your words. It looked at the patterns in the words. And because the patterns in the math formula you put in called text, the formula is so predictable, it came back with, oh man, that hit below the belt. No, it's simply 2 + 2 = 4, and you are a 4, and you don't want to know you're a 4. Everybody's telling you you're a 3, you're a 5. No, you're a freaking 4. That's what this text says. There's no emotion to this. We are the ones providing the emotion. So the math formula says this. Isn't that fascinating? This is how predictable I am. Isn't that cool?
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Second thing.
Yep.
And the second segment is your body is the battlefield you're avoiding.
How did it get that? You never said my body's a battlefield. But your responses said, this is all of this. Here's the formula that makes up that response. You got to see your body as a battlefield.
Well,
isn't it cool how it does this?
I had my caps blown off. Okay. I mean, I was just reading this last night and journaling it twice. And I was just like, what the hell? I mean, who made this? What is this? What is this sorcery, man? Anyhow, it goes on to say you're overweight and lying to yourself about it in the mirror, and that is self-betrayal. Yeah. Number 3, you're postponing Forex trading because you're scared of success. You know it. And then it gave me like an exclamation point after the you know it with on and everything. You wanted to point that thing out. And then it gave me number 4, which was you intellectualize instead of execute. Smart insights, deep awarenesses, but not consistently followed by the action. You're dancing with ideas, not marrying the execution. Which was the thing about the routines that I can't, sustain and so on.
Yep.
That was interesting. And then number 5. Now this is where it got really below the belt. Okay. Number 5 stated, your environment rewards comfort over challenge. You're surrounded by people who reward progress, but do not demand transformation, and that won't be enough. So, yeah. And then the third segment is, the cures and the strategies and so on. Yeah. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Bubba. That's, yeah. I strongly encourage everybody to do that. It's going to be painful in the beginning, but I think it's going to be.
Is it really painful? Or is it just taking time to think of what is really the awareness of what's going on?
Just the awareness, I guess.
Which means we actually have to become aware of who we are, not who we think we are.
Oh, there's a surgeon guy calling. Okay.
Okay, go talk to him.
Oh, all right. Just give me 2 minutes.
Now, is he really talking to a surgeon guy, or is he ordering DoorDash?
I deleted DoorDash. Smart ass. Last night I actually had my last ceremony of ordering DoorDash. Yeah, this was a surgeon guy. I scheduled an intervention for my mom tomorrow. She has some kind of stuff on her hands that she wants to take care of. And yeah. It was real interesting last night when I went through chat stuff.
So here's the key. Here's the key. What's the phrase I always say about being a teacher? Words don't teach. Do you realize that you have all of this, you have pages of text that came back from ChatGPT. Don't mean a damn thing. Doesn't mean anything to me. Why does it mean something to you? Words don't teach. They're not teaching me. Although they can. Why are they teaching you? Because it's what the words aren't saying. It's never the words. The words don't teach. Your journal does not teach. It's what the journal says that doesn't teach. It's not what it doesn't say is what's teaching you. When you go back and read your journal, it's not the one who wrote it. It's the one who's reading it, isn't the one who wrote it. And that's the teaching. Did I write where I was or where I was going? Usually journals are writing where we're going or allowing us to have access to where we want to go. So that's why when we read them after, we get ahas from it. If you're reading your journal and it's like, okay, so it rained on Thursday, what a big deal. You are writing about where you've been, not where you're going. You told ChatGPT, I'm not comfortable where I'm at. Help me get out of here. Oh, well, here's where you're at. Do you want it? No. So make some shifts. I can't tell you what the shifts are. Here's some suggestions based upon your patterns. If you were a racehorse and you wanted to get better, I'd say, okay, you could go swimming or you could run more. You take your horse swimming. If a horse has a strained muscle, you don't put 5,000 pounds on it. You work out the strain. You don't worry about whether the bit is right. It's about the seventh time you've scratched your head. I love it. So
It's
unless you have fleas.
then I got yeah, I was at the gym and it was yeah. You're not right about that. I was just you know what? I was as I woke up this morning, I was thinking about conversation we had some time ago. Oh, no, shoot, it was actually at the ranch. It was at the porch.
Yeah.
We
A lot happened on the porch, huh? In that 30 minutes.
oh yeah, oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of things happened. I think the price of the seminar, as Jim Rohn used to say, for me was the porch conversations.
Those are the best ones.
Multiple porch conversations we had. Not to say that we did not have fun.
The other was okay. The other was the cake, the icing, the ahas. The ahas happen on the porch. They don't happen in the event.
Yeah.
Because at the event you learn and the ahas come on the porch when you're not in a training.
Yeah.
Walking by your tree, you had more conversations, more in-depth conversation with your tree. That ain't the training. It's everything other. The training is what gets you here. The ahas is what keep you coming back.
That is a true story. Because what I was thinking about this morning was when you told me on the porch that you learn the stuff that you need to learn at the right time. And for me, how the last, let's say, 6 weeks, like let's say maybe a month, and actually even before that, when I was preparing for my next visa interview, and then I got it, and then I knew I was gonna come and I was gonna see you, and then I came and I had
You're going
fun.
to see me, but you were going to have the real trip to Chicago. And
I was gonna have
switched.
the layover in Little Rock exactly, and I was gonna go to Chicago, have fun later on, and not just use you as my entry point. Just kidding. Um, it's really cool as far as I see it, how things are unraveling now. Because it makes sense, because you told me on the porch that you learn what you need to learn at the right time. And it's kind of, I went through this process. I was at the high, just like you said. There's always an opposite. I came home, I was at the low for a couple of days, came back on the, even missed a couple of calls, came back on the call, told you about it. You told me how to get out of it, got out of it, starting working on me. And now over the last, let's say 10 days, had some ahas and awarenesses that if I was going to look them as a third party, they don't mean, and they're not that different versus any other breakthroughs I had, but from my point of view, they're huge. And then I just keep stacking on it. ChatGPT interview, the six pillars interview, the calls that we have throughout the day, my journal sessions, by myself and so on. And it just kind of falls into place now. And I gain momentum for the past, let's say, 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about what you said back in December when you first told us about the mastermind idea, I couldn't see it because it was a year-long process. It was the long vision, right? I couldn't see it at the time. But now I see exactly what you said, and I love the fact that it's true and it's coming true for me. And I hope it's coming true for everybody. I just see it from my point of view, you know. So I'm real happy and real grateful for that. So thank you.
You're welcome. And so here's a question. The skills and talents you've learned in the last 5 months, can anyone take them away from you?
No.
That's true mentorship. That's a skill that if I give you something that a skill or talent you've developed because of our dialogue and our conversations in this community that cannot be taken away from you, then you're doing the work. Because you can catapult this because you learned as Vince Lombardi would say, I don't have a football in front of me, but if this was a football, teaching the world-class NFL players, National Football League players, start off every practice. This is a football. I know it's a towel. This is a football. Start with the fundamentals. And what you learn when you truly have skills that you develop, you are dealing with the fundamentals. You're dealing with the blocks, the things that you are unwinding. Personal undevelopment. So it works. You are getting back to a core of you, to a version of you, to a kid version of you that was already successful. Then had all of these layers because you were taller than most, or stronger than most, or tougher than most, or liked by the cheerleaders more than most, or you go and sit in a restaurant by yourself. Really? You have friends? I don't think you have friends. Oh, I got friends. But they can't do what you do. So there's always this story of isolation. And when you change isolation to insulation, see, I can avoid the cold by never going out. But if I know it's going to be cold, I can dress appropriately, mentally, physically, emotionally, that I can go stand in the cold forever. And that's what happens when you step into these new places. You get to go withstand the extremes of the emotional environment that you are currently living in to survive it in a way you've never had. You always feel comfortable in it. The idea of being outstanding all the time, 24/7, is not a myth. You can be that. It's so that the outside environment doesn't affect you. You are insulated from it, not isolated. Too many people, when they step out into the true environment, they're like, I don't like it here. This is ridiculous. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So you isolate yourself. What you're doing is creating the insulation. How I look. I have the coolest looking leg in all of Serbia. Nobody has a leg like I got.
You know
Nobody.
You know what's funny about that?
No, what? Tell me.
I started saying, if someone asks me how I'm doing, or specifically how's my leg doing, I started saying izvanredno, which means outstanding in Serbian. And my mom, who called me just before this call, we got on the phone call because I'm driving her to the hospital tomorrow. She asked me how's my leg doing because of the crust and everything, and I said outstanding in Serbian, and she said, "Don't fool around. How's your leg doing?" And I said, "Ma, I told you, outstanding." So as I kind of adopted your kind of catchphrase, and started saying that to people, they I'm not pretty sure that they're ready to receive it. And I think that's because they don't feel outstanding, but I do. And I'm like, that's just real interesting to me.
So here's the part. So here's the shift. You will say outstanding for now until forever, but there's going to be a shift when you say outstanding that you're not responsible to them. Right now, you said, when I say it, they kind of feel odd.
Yeah.
Which changes the way your frequency is the next time you say it. I really don't want people to feel odd. The shift is that when you truly don't feel odd about it, they can no longer feel odd about it. All they're reflecting back is the vibration they are receiving. They don't believe you believe you're outstanding. That's why they go, come on, how's your leg? This is how we learn clues. The world around us is our canvas. And what shows up in the world around us is what we are painting. When you truly believe that your leg is outstanding, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you feel that it's getting better. There's literally the responsive back of, come on, how do you really feel? Is impossible to come back. If I paint the color red on a canvas and you go, that's green, one of us has an eye issue. But if I paint green and tell you it's red, you go, that's freaking green. Well, I know it's green, but I want it to be red. And this is where repetition. This is what Bob Proctor talked about. The thing we want is at this vibration. We just need to elevate to it. We can keep talking about it, and every time we talk about it, we get closer, we get closer, we get closer, we get closer, and then we hit it, and we're like, oh my God. This is where the phrase from Bob Proctor comes, is do the thing until you don't have to do the thing. So do outstanding until you don't have to do outstanding, then you just are it.
I was just about to ask you, so do I just keep on doing?
Keep going. Tell yourself a better truth. I'm outstanding. Wow, that felt different. I promise you, the next time you say it now, would you say raguguzna? What is it?
Izvrsno. Oh, no, sorry, izvanredno.
Izvanredno. Right? When you say that, all of a sudden, because you hear how I'm saying it, izvanredno. I'm outstanding, but you're like, that's not the way you pronounce it. There's something wrong with even the pronunciation of outstanding, but I'm outstanding. Izvanredno. You're like, I don't know what he's saying, but that's got some enthusiasm to it. The vibration of it is more than the word of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So now people can say the word, but you know they're lying. How are you? Fine. Really, how are you? Spaghetti's fine. How are you? I'm really not doing so good. Then why'd you lie? Because I want to make sure you feel good more than I feel good. And that's your mom. Your mom wants to sacrifice. Your mom feels responsible for letting you ride a motorcycle and almost die. Well, no, she doesn't. She's your mom. She can't not. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember a time a couple months ago, I told her I was gonna go and get myself a new phone, and then I was gonna give her mine, right? And on the way down there to meet the guy, because you have a guy in Serbia for everything,
Yeah.
right? So I went down to meet the guy, and I called him up in the middle of the road, and I was like, "Hey, listen, don't bag me Pro Max, just bag me a 15." And he was like, "Okay." So I go there, I get the phone, I come back home, and I said, "Here, mom, look, I got myself a phone." And I pull out an iPhone 15, and she's like, "Well, that's not the 16 Pro. Like you wanted the big one." And I said, "Gotcha, man, that's for you." And she's just busted out crying. She said, Why are you doing this to me? Why did you do this?" And I said, "Listen, this phone right now has sentimental value for me as well, because it was with me when I crashed, and it made it. And for $80, it's at me $80 to repair the back glass and whatever. Still working. I got this piece of hardware at Walmart for like $30. It's a 20,000 milliamp hour or whatever. It can charge my phone like
Yep.
100 times over or whatever. And I said I'm gonna keep this phone literally until it dies, and then I'm gonna keep the actual physical phone with me for the rest of my life. And I just decided to get you a new one because her one was
Mm-hmm.
kind of malfunctioning. And I said, "Here we go," and she busted out crying. So I guess that's just people are not ready to receive or whatever.
Well, and here's the Paul Harvey rest of the story. You ready?
Sir.
You will hold on to that phone till it dies. Right? And then you'll hold on to it for sentimental value. How long are we holding on to our identity until it dies, and then we hold on to it to sentimental value? How many times do we go out and we keep buying the bigger and the faster charger so that we can recharge the old identity 1,000 times over so it never dies? How long will we keep our success on? How long will we keep failure on the life support system instead of just saying it's time for you to go? ChatGPT won't. ChatGPT won't give you that story. Now, being responsible, the phone works. It charges. The phone works. This was with me. It has sentimental value. Whether it's the phone right now is not alive till you touch a button on it. Right? That phone that you held up, I don't even know where my phone is, that you just held up, we don't know if it works. You're telling us it works. Now you can push a button and the light will come on. We still don't know if it works. We just know that it lights up. You could call us and we go, oh, at least it makes, see, there we go. Now we know that it's working because it's activated. How many of us have to activate our old phone, our old story, so that we can say we work? How many times does a title give us recognition? Oh, that's not the Pro Max 16 or whatever it is. I don't even know what. Oh, that's the, we give title, we give credibility to titles. We name things and it brings value. What happens when you call me from that phone, or if you called me from your mom's new phone, would your voice sound different? Would I know that? Do you know that I call from an iPhone 14 or 15? I don't know what version I have. Or do you know if I'm calling from the version 18? No, because the vibration of connection is always the same. When we connect to the thing we want to connect, it will sound the same. The challenge is we're trying to make connections where we have no signal. And we get frustrated because we have no signal. If you have no signal, what do? You go buy another provider that has signal in that area, right? What are you on? There's some areas AT&T works, or Verizon works, or Mike, or whatever they are, Sprint or Metro, or whatever they are. It's we have to go where the provider has connection. Where does God have connection with you? Everywhere. Are we wired to receive that connection? Are we wired to make that transmission? You are operating on a 1.0 version or a 100.0 version. It's simply vibration. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing them in a certain way. Thank goodness the towers between here and Serbia work so that when you send me a text saying you're getting old and I need my recording, it shows up with the same love and laughter that you mean it. Doesn't matter what phone you sent it from. The connection is there. When we connect with our DMP, when we connect with our dreams, when we connect with it, nothing can keep us from that connection. Period. End of story. Full stop. Next story. And that's what you're doing, is you're creating the true connection, the undoing of the old story. And here's the challenge. You're doing it at 23, 24, when people who are in their 60s and 70s have yet to do it, and you're an odd duck. People will pick up a beer, walk back in and say, why did you give me a beer? How low was their life that they don't believe that they are valuable enough to receive a beer unbeknownst to it? Society has said, well, somebody could have drugged that. What are you doing? Why'd you give me this? Oh my God, he's got to throw it in my face. He's going to return it. I don't want this beer. No Havala, right? No Havala, right? But he didn't. He goes, tell me the story of why I get this. What you're doing is you're rewriting the story of why you get all the things you get to do.
I love that. And I also love the how you wrote the message, because I saw on the timestamps that you sent the first one, sent the second one, and then like 3 or 4 minutes later you came back and you said, "Oh, dang it, I didn't even know which month it is." And then I said, "I know you're getting old, Bubba. It's okay. It's okay. I got
I had
you."
all the right dates. So the 21st, the 21st, he wanted these. I saw that specific. Then I went, what month are we in? I said, aren't we in May? Why does he want April 21? The call wasn't. I was just wondering why you were nuts.
Yeah,
That's
because
what took the 4 minutes going. Why is AJ, why is he so, why was he asking for a month-old call? That doesn't make sense. I thought he wanted May's call. Oh, he did want May's call. What am I doing? Literally, that's why there was a 4 minute at light speed conversation wondering why you were absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. Well, how did that work out for you?
It was fascinating when I realized, oh my gosh, because I couldn't unsend it, right? I could have deleted it, and you're like, what'd you delete? Listen, I sent you the right, I was in the right pew, wrong church.
Yeah. You're definitely going somewhere.
Yeah, I
Now,
was gonna listen. I
where?
answered your question. It wasn't the answer you wanted, but I answered a question, but it wasn't the question you asked for.
That's right. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. This
You
was a
are
great
welcome.
day. Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations on the awareness. There's a lot of scars and a lot of road rash just from these learnings. You thought the road rash from the motorcycle accident was something. That ain't nothing. That's all external. This is all internal road rash. Yep. There you go. Love it, love it, love it. So a couple of things. One, send some love and some good healing energy to Jane. Jane came to an abrupt stop unexpectedly in her car that creates a great story. So just send her some love for any little bumps or uncomfortableness. And so she's doing well and doing amazing. And sending love and light to all of you. Big hugs. Diane is doing amazing. She's absolutely wowing all of the people that work with her. Don't understand why her body is so freaking amazing, because she's a super soul and we love her a ton. Keep sending her love and light. And I'm your head brain training. Let's go have some fun, Misfit. I'll see y'all where?
The next
Next
event.
event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Gura
Pura
vida.
vida.
Vida, we love you, Mark. Some Lydia's.
Peace be with us.
Cool is that? Peace be with us all. The queen of helping you uncover your discovery, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Hey,
lady.
Leslie, we love you, girl. All right, everybody. Oh, and a little white fluffy running around.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly. All right, everybody, go have some fun. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Enjoy your day. Thanks, everybody. And let's say more bread for more people. Bye for now.
Thank you,
Thank you,
family.
Sean.
Have a great day,
Peace.
everyone.
Bye.